think we're live, ready to go. Let me just share this real quick and then we'll start. Give me 1 second here, guys. Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Should be good. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, just kind of wanted to go over the current market structure and exactly what's going on. I know a lot of people are in a little panic state right now, kind of trying to figure out what to do and why the market's dropping. And I wanted to give you guys a few perspectives as well as kind of analyze Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some altcoins and just kind of explain where possible bottoms are going to be. Now, of course, we don't necessarily trade on hopes and dreams here. Instead, we're actually looking at charts and seeing what exactly is a chart trying to tell us. So if you look here in terms of Bitcoin, we'll start off with Bitcoin first, that we pretty much saw a very nice breakout towards all-time high. We wicked right around the 10 to 124.5 region, and then we saw a massive bearish engulfing. Now, this actually isn't something that, is a surprise to me. I've seen this happen before on Bitcoin as well, where we have a breakout and a major resistance. We see a huge drop. Of course, a lot of long orders right here got liquidated, and now we're starting to see more and more downwards pressure. Now, if we look at Bitcoin in the grand scheme of things, mostly on the daily time frame, I'm just going to talk daily on Bitcoin for now. I'm not going to look at 4 hours because, again, we don't really have any trades to kind of pay attention to. But you can see that on the daily, we have now flipped towards, of course, trading below the exponential moving averages. The last time this happened, we did see a fake out breaking right back above. But you'll notice that there's a bigger problem as of right now. And the issue is that we've already tested 113.8 multiple times. You guys remember from my previous chats, at 113.8, I said it's going to be a major support level. We saw a breakout, then we saw a new all-time high. But now the problem is that Bitcoin actually managed to fall right back into that same support level once again. When you have something like this, mostly from a support aspect of it on a daily time frame, where the market keeps testing a specific level, it usually tends to see a breakdown structure. And if we look at where the worst possible case scenario might be for Bitcoin, you can see that pretty much the move set, or of course the squeeze, started at 110.8. And that's the level where things are likely to go. Now, this does not mean that you start shorting on the first specific candle. What needs to happen is a reason for us to short, and that reason for us, of course, and again, me personally, I don't like shorting during uptrends, but if you're looking for a shorting opportunity, your reasoning would be at 111.9. That level, of course, was a major resistance. You can see it was a major support. And now, of course, just zooming out, you'll notice that this was 1, 2, now the third test opportunity. On the third test, while we are trading below the exponential moving averages, while we are hitting the major 113.8 support level, there's a lot of confluences looking for a bearish setup on Bitcoin. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for as of right now. And again, there's times where you want to be bullish and there's times where you want to be sitting out and just letting the market do its thing. Right now, we're in that time where I'm literally just letting the market collapse. I'm not looking for any sort of trading opportunities here because, again, if I was looking for a trading opportunity, as an example, at 118, I could have said, okay, no, we're trading in between the EMAs. This is a fake out. Then we drop here, right? Then I said, okay, I'm going to long here because, again, this is a major support level, and now we broke support again. And that's why you don't necessarily want to be guessing. Instead, you just want to be waiting and sitting on the sidelines and letting the market come to you. So right now, that's the worst case scenario that I see, at least on Bitcoin, would be around the 110.8. Now, it might sound familiar to you guys, but the 110.8 level was a huge resistance on Bitcoin, like major resistance. And this is where things get very interesting. If Bitcoin does end up bouncing on 110.8, that is going to be from the previous run up, right? So the previous major daily support level, resistance level, now to a major support. And if the next leg does happen from there, I would imagine we would see something like this, where the market comes down, hits that level, and then the next leg to around the 130 to 140K region. We are now in the last run of this overall crypto bull run, in my humble opinion. And what I mean by that is this is now the last leg opportunity and the euphoria stage. And I really think that this is where we're going to see the most amount of money made. The reason I'm saying this is because of Ethereum specifically. Now, if we look at Ethereum, I'll go ahead and remove all my drawings because they're an eyesore. But if we look at Ethereum specifically, All-time high on Ethereum was around the $4,800 region. We got close to all-time high, and right now there's a lot of panic in the market. For whatever reason, people are freaking out on Ethereum, saying that, oh my god, it's such a big drop, I don't know what to do. Realistically, guys, if we zoom out on this chart, it was the same drop from 3,900 down to 3,300. It's the same drop from 4,700 down to 4,100. It's still an uptrend though, right? We're still trading above the exponential moving averages. Like we saw a little break today, and all of a sudden my whole DMs, everyone's freaking out. Oh my god, Pingu, we broke. What do I do? Guys, the daily candle has not yet closed. There's still 4 hours left. And that's a big part of this sort of stream is when you're trading in terms of downtrends, your emotions have to be aside. Number one, if the daily candlestick has not closed, I don't give a shit what Ethereum's doing. Realistically, there's no confirmations in the chart. There's no reason to enter longs, right? A lot of people on the 4-hour interval or even daily interval might see this as a bottom situation. And the problem with that mindset is, for example, let's say Ethereum breaks the 20 EMA. What are you going to do now, right? You're entering a long position based on the fact that it hit the 20 EMA, but there's no guarantee that we bounce, right? A lot of times the market just see a cascade, more shorts ladder in, and then we see an even bigger drop. And that's why I'm telling you guys, just sit on the market, wait for the market to decide where it wants to go, and then we can enter a long position. But right now is a crucial point for Ethereum because we need to end up holding above 40.28. 40.28, just like Bitcoin's 110.8, were both weekly and daily major support levels. Resistance levels. If these levels end up breaking, then yes, it's time to panic. But if these levels, of course, just end up hitting, then that is an extremely bullish sign. That is pretty much where we know the next leg opportunity is now being formed across the board, and we are looking at buying opportunities once we break back above the exponential moving averages. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for from a larger perspective. From a worst case scenario, Bitcoin down to 110.8. From a worst case scenario, Ethereum down to 40.28. Now, these are both worst case scenarios, right? But again, the market tends to continue. Again, if it wants to break, it'll break. I'm just saying that's going to be the levels that I'm paying attention to. I am not a long position here, right? A lot of people look at it from this perspective. And again, I'm only talking about leverage right now. If I'm looking at it from a leverage perspective, it's very dangerous, right? Because again, you're continuing to test the 20 exponential moving average. You can see we bounced multiple times, but once again, the market is now dropping again. And this is where catching a falling knife is the worst thing you can do in a downtrend. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, oh my God, this is the bottom, everyone long. I personally, during times like this, if we're sitting on a 20 exponential moving average, that's pretty much where I start looking for buying opportunities for spot positions. That's when I start loading back up in terms of spot positions at a small scale. Because again, if of course the market does end up bouncing on the 20 exponential moving average, awesome, right? I caught somewhat of the bottom. If the market ends up breaking below the 20, then there's still going to be fake out situations down in 40.28. But with these dip opportunities, mostly from a daily and weekly level, you won't always get the perfect buy. That means that the market will be extremely quick. We've seen flushes happen extremely quick on Ethereum where we see a quick drop and then market bounces in a strong V-shaped formation, and all of these guys are left to buy, right? Or of course, in terms of panic. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for, at least from that front. Even if we want to talk about Doge, yesterday I said, hey, if 0.218 breaks, Doge is looking for a drop down to 0.20. And these are pretty much things that you can kind of start paying attention to in terms of altcoins. Like Bitcoin and Ethereum were bearish, but Doge was screaming bearish, right? And I told you guys in the video yesterday too, like if we looked at the 4-hour setup, it was extremely clean for a short. I personally don't short, doesn't mean you guys don't have to, but look at the current setup. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had multiple tests of 0.218. Just like think of it like Bitcoin at 113.8. When a daily structure breaks from a support level, it breaks for everyone. It does not break. It's not like, oh my God, Dogecoin, Elon Musk. No, I don't want to hear that. It's gonna break regardless of what kind of structure it is. So if Bitcoin ends up breaking major support, guess what? Doge is going to end up falling too. Ethereum is going to end up falling too. And I hope it's starting to look more and more clear. And this is pretty much how you avoid catching falling knives, is wait for the daily levels to play out. You're not going to be that guru that enters right on 0.21A and be like, I caught the bottom. I want to be that guy, post it on my Twitter and be like, yo, I caught the bottom. Don't be that person. Realistically, all you really need to do is just let the market have a slow bleed opportunity. When you see the market have a strong V-shaped recovery above the EMAs and retest them as support, that's it. You are this guy right here. So when it breaks above retest, you're going to be that guy that enters on the retest. And then you can ride the trade all the way back up. You can ride the resistance levels on the break structure. But don't be that person trying to catch a falling knife. Because again, the market structure can easily break on support levels. I've told this before to you guys many times. If the market keeps testing the same support, if the resistance on the EMA starts to flip, and now the EMAs start pushing downwards, 9 out of 10 times the market structure will end up breaking. And Doge was a very clean short setup. I got people hating on my YouTube video on Doge saying that this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And again, it's because people get emotional when they lose money. Guys, if you look at Pudgies and if you look at Pengu, I'm probably down like 200 grand total. And again, to me, I'm not phased because everything drops when the market drops. You don't want to be an emotional person to start making emotional decisions based on the fact that Bitcoin is just looking for the retest opportunities on these major support levels. That's what you account for when you buy a coin or when you invest in something. You account for the basic drawdown situation. Hey, if the market drops, what do I do? What's my plan B? And that's where I think a lot of people struggle, is because they don't have a plan B. They either went all in at the top, or they entered a leverage position all in terms of a long position at the top, and now they're underwater, and now they're freaking out and making baseless decisions. And that's pretty much where I come from again. Wait for the levels to play out. Let the daily candle close on Ethereum. If, of course, we break the daily, and again, right now it looks very bad, right? I'm not going to lie. It looks terrible on Ethereum because bulls are struggling on the 20 exponential moving average. If we break that level, then 40.28 is most likely to play out. Again, 40.28 was a major resistance. There's going to be a ton of liquidity trapped within that range. We may easily see a capitulation wick on Ethereum and then a bounce. But the point is, I am not looking for panic situations here when Ethereum has already dropped nearly $700. And this is what bothers me in terms of not only this chat, but just in general of crypto. Ethereum went, guys, from 3,600 up all the way to 4,700. That's about $1,100 move within a week. There's gonna be a correction. Nothing goes up forever. And honestly, if Ethereum broke all-time high in the same candlestick area right here, if it continued to push upwards, I'd probably switch to shorting too, because I know that's not sustainable. I am very happy that we're actually seeing a corrective move. And again, it's not over because we're still fighting for the daily exponential moving average. So all you really want to do in this sort of situation is let the daily close, see where it closes, and then base it off that. That does not mean that you start looking for long positions on the EMAs, because remember, it has to break above the 9 and the 20, not in between the 9 and the 20, not in between the 20. It has to break above the 9 and the 20, and then we look for the long positions. Otherwise, the market can go to the gulag. I really don't care, right? Of course, in terms of my spot positions, it sucks, right? I lose a lot of money when these things happen, but that's the reality that I know. Hey, long term, I win anyways. And you guys have seen that time after time after time. I pretty much for the past few months have not said short Ethereum. And if we zoom out on Ethereum, you'll see we're in the same sort of situation right here, right? We saw a huge leg on Ethereum from 2,900 all the way up into 3,900. We saw a corrective move down to 3,300. Everyone starts to panic. Market does a fake out, V-shaped recovery, breaks to a new all-time high. And just in terms of all-time high, I mean this major resistance point. Once again, we're in the same sort of situation right now. The dailies are being lost, people are panicking. But guess what? If the market, of course, does bounce in terms of 3,900 or even 40.28, does a V-shaped recovery, then I promise you guys the next leg is going to be all-time high. And what's going to happen then is when Ethereum breaks all-time high, we're going to be in a euphoric stage. A lot of these altcoins, Doge, XRP, Cardano, everything is going to rally together. And not just touching base on these altcoins in general. You guys remember my trade setup on Cardano when I said, hey guys, this is a long at 0.84 all the way up to 0.98. Guys, if I'm sitting there telling you, hey, Cardano's weekly resistance is 0.98, it's probably a good idea to take profits, right? And that's why I give you guys the levels. Hey, 0.98 plays, that's my take profit. It's time for you guys to take your profit. If you're still holding a long position, hoping that Cardano breaks from 0.98 to 124, you're just gambling at that point, right? So the reason why we look for these trade setups and want to exit, we're not swinging, is because now, if we look at it from this perspective, we basically held for a week and now we're right back at entry. Now, of course, we have the possibility of breaking below and liquidating, or of course, seeing this M formation play out. Versus, we entered the long position here, rode it to the top, we took our profits, and now the market's doing its thing. We don't care, right? We're not going to panic. We're not going to freak out over this sort of situation because we've already taken our profits. Start becoming a scalping or 4-hour intraday trader. Honestly, it bothers me because if you're wrong on your swing position, you will blow everything. And I've said this before too. I've said this to the whales. I've said this to a lot of people is a lot of times what people do is we'll be in an uptrend. I'll give you an example, right? Ethereum in an uptrend, everything's balling. We're all rich. Everyone's making money. And then you start going long on Doge and Cardano and Litecoin and Solana. And you think, oh my God, everything is going up. So clearly I'm going to make a lot of money if everything continues to rally. What happens is the market starts to correct. And now you'll see Bitcoin and Ethereum drop, but then Doge, Solana are all of a sudden down 4%, 5%. And you're getting destroyed more on these sort of positions. And because now you're like, what do I do? And this is exactly why I tell people, focus on 1 or 2 trade setups. And then once you get good at it, then look at the other trade setups. A lot of times there's a lot of over trading in the market. And when you start doing that and the market starts seeing a corrective move, that's where you end up getting liquidated. So again, once again, guys, are we panicking on a daily structure? Because look, this is live, right? We're seeing bulls fight for the 20 EMA right now. We're seeing buying pressure come into the market. This does not mean that you're going to be that person, you're going to be that soldier, and you're going to start entering this position because you want to help them buy, right? That's not the point. The point is you're going to see how this candlestick closes. And once again, it is not a long opportunity on candlestick close. We have to wait for the 9 to get back above. But the point is, if the candlestick closes and we start seeing a green candle, we're gonna see a relief sort of structure happen. The main thing we want to watch during relief rallies is to see whether or not we can see V-shaped formations play out. And that, of course, you'll see on the 4-hour interval first. So what you want to see is something like this. Market breaks above, like that, and then and that right there, this retest on the EMAs is where you guys long. You're buying opportunities, you're looking for long scalps, whatever. That is the point. Right now, we're not in that stage at all, right? And again, you can see that the market tried. So it's not like it didn't happen. The bulls tried to do it right here. We saw a downward spiral. We had a potential V-shape at 43.96. This is when I woke up this morning and I had people saying, I don't think the daily is going to happen. I think we're actually going to bounce here. And then, of course, market rejected the EMAs and boom, right here. Remember that W formation video I made last night for you guys? So possible W formation was looking to play out. But if the W formation breaks, then we have a strong downwards cascade because a lot of these traders here are either going to be stopped out or liquidated. And that's pretty much what you want to pay attention to. If on the daily time frame, the 20 EMA was looking to be tested, why are we entering long positions up here on 4,300, 4,400? It doesn't make sense. If you know the market is on the daily time frame bearish, then why are you looking for long positions on the lower time frame? You have to follow the trend. And right now the trend was the daily time frame for the 20. So I hope that makes sense for everyone. We are not in a panic state. This does not mean that the bull run is over. It really bothers me that every time we see a corrective move, I get messages like, is that it, Pingu? Is it over? Are we going to zero? Should I sell my spot positions? Like, brother, it's dropped like $500, sure, whatever. But like realistically, it's also gone up like $3,000 in total. Like, that's what I'm saying is you have to zoom out and wait for the market to come to you. You'll be a lot less stressed. I know it sucks. Trust me. I'm telling you guys. You guys see my wallets. It sucks for me too. But at the end of the day, that's the life we chose. We're in crypto to make money. And if when market's correct, you will lose money. But that doesn't mean you start selling, your panic selling, or you're trying to be that guy who's going to sell at the top and buy at the bottom. You're not doing that. You realistically missed your whole chance if you didn't do it at around 4,800, right? And some people did do it. Some people shorted the top. Awesome. And I'm happy for them. But realistically, again, the reason why I don't short in terms of bull markets is because situations like this. Let's say I was shorting and now I'm happy here and I'm making fun of everyone, and then I got a V-shaped formation. I get liquidated on this candle right here. And the worst feeling in the world is getting liquidated in a bull run, and then you start seeing things go parabolic. We're talking Ethereum at 6,000, Doge at $1, like that. And again, that time has not happened yet. And I've told people that there's gonna be a time in the market when it happens. And what I mean by that is not these little gains that we're seeing here and there on Doge, 10 cents, whatever. No, I'm talking about a proper run up for altcoins. Like, I'm talking about a mega candle on altcoins. Like, from here, this was down to the COVID crash, right? So around 2020, we're talking a 1 cent Cardano. Oh, I don't know what I did there. We're talking from a 1 cent Cardano to a peak of $3.24, a 300x. That is what we're looking for in terms of a proper run up in terms of altcoins. Right now, this is baby gains, right? Where we haven't even broken structure in terms of the long term. Like, look at the long term on Ethereum. This was all-time high. We haven't even broken the all-time high. So in terms of baby gains, like, sure, you can have your fun, you can do your thing, but I'm looking for the euphoria. I'm looking for the massive rallies on Ethereum across the board, and that is going to happen once we break all-time high. So am I going to be a panic seller here? Am I going to be looking to exit my positions because Ethereum went down $500 and some guru on YouTube told me that the bear market is starting because Trump is doing this with tariffs and EU is doing that with tariffs? No, I'm going to grow a pair, and I'm going to hold my trades, and I'm going to wait for a position, and I'm going to enter. And until then, I'm not going to cry and wait and be like, oh my God, I'm down so bad. Guys, it's the market. It happens. And realistically, since I started this stream, you can see right now is a war, right? We're still fighting. Oh my God, it's so over here, and now we're so back on the daily. So that's pretty much all I got. And, you know, take it as you will, but my job isn't here to sit here and be like, I'm a buyer here, guys. We're going to the moon from here. Don't listen. No, I'm going to tell you realistically, hey, this is the level where we're going to bounce on. This is the level where you can possibly look for buying opportunities. And if this level breaks above, then the next leg starts. And that's pretty much all you do. Sit on your hands, do whatever you want, but that's what I'm doing. I'm just simply waiting. Why don't we short during bull markets? Why doesn't Pingu say, oh my God, go short? Again, the risk to reward is not there for me. And I come from someone who's a way better shorter than I am a long position. And trust me, guys, a lot of you guys are new to my channel, but for about a year, I was only short. And I kid you not, we were making insane amount of money when we were shorting, right? Because it's so much more fun. It's so much more fun seeing people say this is the bottom and the bottom doesn't happen and it keeps going lower and lower and lower. There will be a time when I start shorting again, but right now is not that time. I do think that we are near the end of the bull run. I do think that this is going to be the last leg, in my opinion, for Ethereum and a lot of these coins. I don't know where the legs are going to end up happening, but what I do know is I'm a buyer at these levels. If, of course, the market drops a little bit more, I'm still looking to buy because I don't think we're at the end of yet. I don't think that Ethereum is just going to drop from here before all-time high. I do think that we're going to break all-time high. I don't know where exactly we go, but I do know that a lot of these altcoins, we're going to make a lot of money. And again, for those of you that are new, my channel is completely free. I don't charge for anything, so I'll link it in the chat real quick. It is absolutely free. You're welcome to do whatever you guys want. And again, if you're looking into leverage, link in the bio on Blowfin. Blowfin's awesome. Seriously, it really is. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for coming, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It is recorded. If you want to go back and, you know, do whatever you need to, then you're welcome to. But the point is, guys, please listen, hear me out. Don't panic. Don't be a crybaby. Just hold your positions. Wait for the market to come to you. If you enter something without me saying, hey, go enter it, and then you're down massive amount of money, it's a learning experience. I'm not going to sit here and laugh at you for that. But the point is, the learning experience should really be a learning experience. If you make the same mistake twice, I have zero sympathy for you. And the point is, if I'm not trading, a lot of you guys should not be trading either. And I genuinely mean that. A lot of people are new to leverage. A lot of people are new to this bull run. This is my third cycle. And I'm telling you, when the setups happen, you will be the first one to know. I don't sleep. I get maybe 5 hours of sleep. I am constantly looking at the charts for you guys. I'm constantly looking at possible recoveries, and I'm constantly updating the Telegram. So if I'm not messaging, it's probably best to just sit on your hands and do nothing, okay? I promise you, I'm only here for one reason, and that reason is to make you guys money. I'm not here for any other reason. I can do this shit alone, and you guys know that. Like, my Pudgy portfolio is almost $500,000. I can do this stuff alone. I don't really need to do it. But I do it because I know that at the end of the day, someone out there is looking to make some extra money, and they don't need to pay some course guru to do it. I will help you guys as much as I can, but there will be a time where I exit too. There will be a time where I leave too. So we'll see when that time comes. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace out.